Hi, welcome to Hootenton's Crafts, where our wings fly free, just like our imagination. Tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to turn your head, make this knitted cable headband. So to do our headband, our knitted cabled headband, you can use really any yarn that you have available. You can do bulky yarn, you can do I used for the pink one Karen Simply Soft, which to me is like a lighter 4. I don't consider it a 4 wheat. But yeah, you can use whatever you have on hand, and the same goes for knitting needles. You know, you match the knitting needle to the yarn that you're going to be doing. So sorry, this is Hobby Lobby, and for the life of me I cannot remember the name of the yarn, and I'm so sorry. I do know it was like pumpkin spice or something like in that nature, but I lost the band. I just had some of the yarn, and yeah, I can't remember the name, but it said, I do remember it saying that it was a bulky 5, and I thought, well, that's not a bulky 5, but it's on a heavier side of the 4, so it's a little bit thicker than your typical 4. So that's what I'm using. And then my knitting needles, I'm using 10.5 knitting needles. These are Denise interchangeable needles. I've had these for years now, ever since I've learned to knit, which I was a little girl when I learned to knit. So I had these for a long time. I love them. I will always say, if you are a beginner knitter, get yourself a pair of these. The yarn slides really nice. It's not metal needles I love, but you really have to know what you're doing when you're using a metal needle, because your yarn is going to be slipping and sliding right off that needle, and you can lose stitches. So if you're a beginner, these are the ones for you. They come in different colors now. This is just her typical gray. But look, you slide it on, turn it. It's really nice and flexible. I just love it. Right here, it doesn't catch. It's just a smooth on and off with your stitches. You get a whole book. It's like a little book. You open it up and has all your knitted needles in there of all sizes and different cables, even attachments. So this was so worth it. I truly do love it. Like I said, your yarn just slides off so nicely, and for beginner knitters, this is it. So I'm going to attempt to show you how to cast on, but first I'm going to show you what else you're going to need. Obviously you need scissors, you know, that snip your yarn, sewing in needle to sew in your ends, but you are going to need something for the actual cable. You need something that's going to catch those stitches that you can bring to the front and you can bring to the back. So I'm going to be using a stitch holder. In case you always saw this in your grandmother's kit and you're like, what is this? Now you know it's a stitch holder. You open it up and say you want to, you know, you're working on a project and you want to put it to the side and work on something else, and you need your needles. You would slide all your stitches on here and close it off, and then it would be secure for you. And so that's what this is. There are cable and needles. I don't have any. I did, but I need to get some. And for the life of me, like, I can't work a cable and needle. I've always ever used this for my cable in. Cable and needles, for me, they tend to slip off. They give you like these little needles like this, and then it's dipped in the middle, and that's supposed to hold your stitches. And I'm like, okay, and every time I do it, they slip off. So it's me, because I've seen other knitters and they're like a pro, and I just can't. So this is what I'm using. If you don't have one of these, you can use a bobby pin. Open that bobby pin up, use that. A paper clip, again, open that paper clip up, and you can use that. A crochet hook. can take a crochet hook and slide your stitches on and move that to the front and the back. So whatever you have on hand, that is what you can use. So let me try to attempt to show you how to cast on. Casting on, there are different ways of cast on. I'm going to show you the long tail cast on, and then another way where you just loop it around your finger and you cast on, which is easier, but I don't know, you'll see. Alright, so we need to cast on 20 stitches, so you want to pull enough yarn. Gonna wrap this around, and you're going to make a slip stitch. Alrighty, so we made our slip stitch. Now you have your 2 strands. You're going to hold the bottom with your fingers. Put your thumb and your index finger in the middle and bring forward. Okay, makes a little V. So again, let me try to move you out a little bit so hopefully you can see this good. There's our slip stitch. Hold with the bottom 3 fingers that yarn. Put your index finger and your thumb in between and bring it down. Then you're going to come underneath your thumb, wrap it around this strand that's around there, bring it through, and that's going to give you your first stitch. So again, under and then over. There's 3, 4, 5, and then you can see how it gets easier. So again, grab the bottom, put your index finger and your thumb in the center, bring this down. You're going to go under that thumb, over the index, and then pull it through. And that is going to give you your stitches. Now another way to do this is make your slip stitch, and then you take the yarn, wrap it around your finger, you have your slip stitch right there. Take this yarn, wrap it around just like that, just wrap and then slide it off. Wrap, go under, slide off. And you would do this 20 times. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So all I'm doing is I'm holding the yarn here, wrapping it around the finger. I'm going under and pulling that through. So wrap it around, going under and pulling that through. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. And there you go. All of your stitches, unlike crochet. So, like I was saying, unlike crochet, all of your stitches are going to be on your needles. So, with your working yarn, and make sure you have your working yarn and not your towel, you are going to be knitting the first 2 rows. So, how you're going to do that is, you're going to get your needle. In between each stitches, you have these spaces. Go through the space, find that first loop, and go through it. So, up and under, wrapping your yarn around, and pulling through, and then slide that off your needle, and now you have your first stitch done. Again, going through, up and under, wrapping your yarn around and pulling through. So take your needle, go through that little gap, up through your loop, wrap your yarn around, and slide it off. There we go. So you're going to do this the whole way for your 20 stitches. And again for the second round. So again, here's your stitches. You have these little spaces between. Take your working needle, going through, up, through that hoop, wrap your yarn around, pull it through, and there you go. Alrighty, I'm going to press pause. I'm going to do my second row of just knitting, and then we'll get into the cable. Alrighty, I finished my second row of just straight knitting. Now we are going to get into the cabling part. So for the first 3 stitches, you are going to knit those first 3 stitches. So 1, 2, and 3. This 4th stitch, we are going to do a purl stitch. Sorry, can't talk and pull yarn apparently. So you're going to take your working yarn, bring it to the front. And just like you would knitting going this way, now you're going to go behind that loop. So go into the front, go under that loop, wrap your yarn around, and pull through. So one more time. Your yarn's in the back, bring that forward. Take your working needle, going downwards in the front or behind that loop, wrap your yarn around, and pulling through. And that is a purl stitch. Now comes the actual cabling. The first 3 stitches you are going to slip off, and you are going to put these to the back of your work. Knit the next 3 stitches, 2 and 3. Come behind, get your stitches that you had in the back, and put them back on your needle. It will be a little tight, that's okay. Don't think you did something wrong if it's a little snug. Now, work those 3 stitches knitwise. So you're going to be knitting those 3 stitches. And there's your first little cable bump. Now, we're going to again remove the next 3 stitches and put them onto your holder. But this time, you're going to take them and put them in the front. Knit the next 3 stitches. Take your stitches and put them back onto your needle. And knit those 3. And there you have your first cable done. Now we're going to purl that first stitch. So bring your yarn forward, going downwards through that loop, wrapping your yarn around and pulling through. Knit the last 3 stitches. And that's it. Doesn't look like much now, but you just wait. Now we are on the wrong side. Every wrong side, you're going to knit the knit stitches, purl the purl stitches. So for the first 4 stitches, they're going to be knit. You see this little braid here? That is what a knit stitch looks like. I know these are little bumps, but this is a garter stitch since this is just straight knitting. So the first 4 on the wrong side will always be knit. And how you'll know you're done with your knit stitch is you won't see that little braid. You'll get into this, which is purls. So the first 4 stitches, always on the wrong side, knit. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now I'm going to bring my yarn forward. For the next 12 stitches, it's purl. So remember, bring your yarn forward, take a needle, go down through that front loop, wrap your yarn around, and pull through. For the next 12 stitches, again, your yarn is forward, you're taking your working needle, going down through that loop, wrap your yarn around, and pull through. Now we are at our last 4 stitches, and again, we're going to knit them. These are called the setup rounds. You have a set of rounds that you do to set up for your next cable. It gives you the space right here. It gives you this nice, it builds that cable up, so then you have a nice, really pretty cable looking. Otherwise, it's all be crunched up like that, and that's not a cable. Alrighty. So now we are back on the right side. The right side, you're going to knit your knits and purl your purls. So for the first 3 stitches, we're knitting 1, 2, and 3. Bringing our yarn forward for this purl. And now those next 12 stitches that are our cable, we are going to knit. So you're going to knit the next 12 stitches. Alrighty, now we're back at our 4 stitches. This first one, if you can see a little bump. I know these have bumps too, but this is garter stitch. So these are 3 knits. That one right there is a purl. So we're going to bring our yarn forward, purl that 1 stitch, and knit the next 3. Alrighty, so that is our second setup round. Now this is our 3rd. And we are on the wrong side again. And remember, the wrong side, the first 4 stitches you're going to knit. So those first 4 knit. Now The next 12, you're going to purl. Remember, bring your yarn forward, take your working needle, go downwards through that loop, wrapping your yarn around, and pulling through. I'm going to finish this off, and then when I get to my last 4, I'm going to knit those, and I will be back to you. See you in a hoot. Okay, I'm back to the right side. Now I can definitely see our little cable coming to life. So now I'm going to do the right side again, which is knit the first 3 stitches, purl that 4th stitch, knit the next 12 stitches, purl that one first stitch, and then knit your last 3 stitches. So that is what I'm going to do, and then I will meet you back here. Alrighty, I just finished that round. Now we are going back into the wrong side, and this will be our last setup round. Let's pull some yarn. Alrighty, so remember the wrong side. The first 4 stitches are knit, you can see that little, it looks like a little French braid or a little braid. That's your knit stitch. So the first 4 stitches knit. Now the next 12 stitches we will be purling, and that's where you bring your yarn forward, go downwards through that loop, wrapping your yarn around and pulling through, keeping your yarn forward. I'm going to finish this round, and then I will get back to you. Okay, so now we're going to do a cabling round. So for the first 3 stitches, knit that 4th stitch, purl. Now we're back to our cables. The first 3 stitches you slip off onto your holder, and we are going to take this and put this behind our work. Knit the next 3 stitches, bring those stitches back, slide them onto your needle, and now knit those 3 stitches. The next 3 stitches, slide them off, bring them forward, knit those next 3 stitches, bring these stitches and put them onto your needle. Now knit those 3 stitches, bring your yarn forward, purl that first stitch, and knit your last 3. And there you have your second cable. Now we are going to do the setup rounds. Now for this one, we're going to do a total of 6 setup rounds. I know we just did 4, so that was 2 on the back, 2 on the front. Now we're going to do 3 on the back and 3 on the front. It's going to give us this nice, long, really nice cable. The reason why I didn't do that this time was this is going to be tied up right here, and I wanted to give myself a nice setup. So you don't have to follow that. It's just always what I do. I don't know why I do it. It just gives me that nice first setup. So now we're on the wrong side, and remember, every wrong side you knit the first 4 stitches. Now the next 12 you're going to purl. Purling, you always have your yarn forward. So purl those next 12. Knit the last 4. And that's the wrong side. So that was our first wrong side. So we'll have 2 more wrong sides to go. This is the right side. And the right side, you're going to knit the first 3. 1, 2, and 3. Purl that 4th stitch. Knit the next 12. Purl that first stitch and knit your last 3. And there you really can start seeing your cable come to life. Alright, I'm going to do this side one more time, this side one more time, and then we'll finish the last 2 together. So I will see you in a hoot. Remember, on the wrong side, the first 4 stitches, knit, purl the 12, knit the last 4. Okay, I just did one more side of the purl. I just finished the one side of the knitting. Now I'm back on the wrong side, and this will be my last wrong side. So 3 wrong sides total. So you're going to knit the first 4. Purl the next 12. And then knit the last 4. So I know I kept saying 6 total, but you're only going to do that your setup rounds for a total of 5. So 3 wrong sides and 2 front sides, right sides. So now this round is where we're going to do the cable. So after you've completed 3 of working the wrong sides, then you'll know, okay, now it's time for my next cable. I mean, you can stretch it out longer if you wanted to, but it's not going to look the cable then. So 1, 2, 3, you're knitting the first 3 stitches, bringing your yarn forward and knit, purl in that 4th stitch. Now our cable. Take the first 3 stitches off, moving them to the back of your work, knit the next 3 stitches, bringing those stitches back and putting them back onto your needle. Knit those 3 stitches, remove the next 3 stitches onto your holder, bringing them forward, knit the next 3 stitches, bring those stitches back onto your needle, and knit those 3 stitches. Purl the first stitch and knit your last 3 stitches. And there you have, and you can see how pretty your cable is starting to come out. So that is all it takes to do that cable. I'm going to do one more time the setup rounds. Remember, 3 of your wrong sides, and then it'll be 2 of your front sides. On your 3rd front side, we will do the cable in. So I'm going to do, I'm going to get to that now. Remember, the first 4 stitches you knit, the next 12 purl, and the last 4 you knit. So do that for the next 3 rounds of purl and 2 on the right side, and I will see you back when it is our cable and round. Alrighty, I just finished 2 front sides and 3 back sides of the setup rounds. Now this is going to be the last time I show you how to do the cable, and then you're just going to continue this to the length of your desire. So the next, with the first 3 stitches, you're going to knit the 4th stitch, purl. The next 3 stitches, put onto your holder, and you're going to put them in the back of your work. Knit the next 3 stitches, bring those stitches back, put them on to your needles. I lost my yarn. Knit those 3 stitches. Now take the next 3 stitches onto your holder, moving them forward, knit in the next 3 stitches, putting those stitches back onto your needle, knit those 3 stitches, purl that first stitch, and knit your last 3 stitches. And there you have it. You're going to continue this, like I said, until your desired length. I usually you want it to be a comfortable fit. You don't want it to be where it stretches over your head. You want it to be nice, comfortable, have good stretch, not too big, but definitely not too tight. So you're just going to continue this on until, and with knit, you do get a nice stretch. So it's going to be a lot different than the crochet version. So yeah, but look how pretty. Oh, I'm telling you, I love cables. Love, 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 love cables. And I know it probably looks so difficult, but once you do it and you're like, wow, that's so easy. And all it is moving your stitches back and forward, and that is it. So like I said, continue this on until we get to the end, and then I will teach you how to do the little band that goes around it and put in our headband all together. So I will see you when I have this completed to my length. Okay, so we're done doing, well, I'm done doing the full knitted headband. You're going to count 12 of your cables. So there should be 12 full cable rounds. Starting from the bottom, that first one, count 12 of these loops along the side. And so that's how I know I'm done with my headband. Now we're going to bind off. So this is going to be let me put you back just a little bit. This is going to be a stretchy bind off. You want a stretchy bind off because it's going to be stretching on your head. Well, I guess in this part is stretchy, so I guess it doesn't really matter what kind of bind off you use, because these two are going to get sewn together and then they get squished, well, crunched, you know, when you do your little knitted band around it. So it doesn't matter what kind of bind off you do. I guess I'll just show you a regular little bind off. But when we do the hat, I'll show you the stretchy bind off. Alright. So you're going to knit your first stitch, knit your second stitch, and in that first loop, you bring over. And then you have your loop on there. Then you're going to go knit that one and bring that loop over. And that's all a bind off. That's all you do for the bind off. So you knit one and then bring that one over the whole way to the end. Oops. It looks like such a difficult cable, and it's really not. And that's what I love about this look of this cable stitch, is that it looks like, oh my goodness, that has to be so hard to do, but it's not. It's really simple. Works up rather quickly. Like once you get the feel of cables, it really does. It really is mindless, and you just go, you know what to do. You know, with the 3 stitches in the back and then 3 stitches in the front. It's really that, you know, like I said, once you really just start doing it, after a couple cable rounds, you're just like, oh, I got it. You don't even have to listen to the pattern or look for a pattern or anything like that. You just got it. Now this is just, like I said, a regular bind off. This one doesn't give you much stretch, but for the headband it's not going to matter. When we do a hat, it will matter because you don't want it to be tight. You want it to have a stretch. And then your last stitch, leave a long tail for sewing these 2 ends together, and then that's it, you're done. And now you can see it gives you some of a stretch, but there's still that tightness right there. So this is fine, really perfectly fine for the headband itself, because this part's gonna get sewed together and then scrunched up when we do our little band for it. But like I said, when you're going to do the hat, you really want stretch. You see how that's stretch? You want that in your work. So, but here it is, and you can see how pretty that looks. I just love this one. It also reminds me of hearts. There is a heart cable that I do love to do. But I love this one. I just think this is just so pretty. And even with just the simple knitted sides and then that 1 stitch right there of purl, it really makes the cable pop. And that is, oops, sorry. And that is what you want. You want your cable to pop. You don't want too much going on around it so you really see that cable. Alright, I will sew these ends together, and then we'll work on that little band that goes around it. Alrighty, so I sewed my ends together, and so just like the crochet, you can fold it together and you can do that little knot in the front of it. You can just scrunch this together and sew it like that, but we're going to do that little band around it. I really like that. I just think it's just so cute, and yeah, so let's get to that. You can do the same color yarn, you can do a different color. It's really what you want to do. I'm going to just stick to the same color. So make your slip stitch, and we're going to cast on 8 stitches. So remember, we're going to do the easy cast on. Wrap it around your finger, go under and make your stitch. Wrap it around your finger, take your needle, go underneath and slide in that loop off your finger. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Let's do 10, 9, and 10. Now, all you're going to do for the next, I don't know, you're just going to have to, it's really up to you. It really is up to you. If you want this to be tight like this, then you can do a little band around it. If you want it to be more loose. So I'm going to do let's just knit, and I'm gonna just see where my mind takes me. So the first row, you're just knitting. And all you're doing is knitting. You're not purling, you're just straight knitting. On both the right and wrong side. Again, knitting, just straight knit. Oops. I did a total of 14 just straight knit rows, and now I'm going to bind off. So you're going to knit that first stitch, knit the second stitch, and then put that loop over that one. Knit, put the front loop over that one. This does not need to be a stretchy bind off. Because of how it's going to be sewed, it doesn't matter. You can also do a crochet bind off. I'll show you that one next time, how to do a crochet bind off. Whoops. The long ends for sewing together, and then there you go. What I love about knitting is this. Oh, that stretch. Look at that. I love that. All right. Get your sewing needle. Going to turn your headband inside out so you see the wrong side. It doesn't matter which side. There we go. It doesn't matter which side because they're both the same. There's no wrong side or right side. But right along the seam where you sewed your headband together, that is where you're going to close your little band part on. And you can sew this however you like. It doesn't matter. I just go in the front and back loops. And I think it's called the mattress stitch. I know I keep saying that. I really got to learn the stitches. But I always just sew it that way. It gives you a nice flat finish. Oops. Bring that out because I'm going to weave that in. So, and then make sure you really get that last little edge sewn close really good. Alrighty, weave your ends. I'm going to weave this in and I will get back to you. Alrighty, I weaved both my ends in. Give this like a little judge. Flip it to the right side. And there you go. You're done. You have completed your knitted headband. You just fool with it till it's like, you know, opened nice, and there you go. That's it. You have that beautiful cabling and everything. I love it. I love it. And the bulkier yarn, truly with this pattern, the better. It just comes out looking so pretty. I love thick, full headbands. I don't like the thin ones. I mean, I know there's some that, you know, wear it that way. But for me, I love the chunkier ones. Like, oh, I just love this. Alrighty, so that is it. I hope you could understand. If you're a new knitter, I hope I truly helped you do your first cable. I really do. So I just love this. Look at that. That is just so pretty. I really, really love this. I love how it looks like it's getting knotted in each one. I just love that. I love knit. Ooh, I could do this all day. Alrighty, so that is all. Again, I hope you liked this video. Please like and subscribe. Share if you want to. And that's all. Hootin' out. Bye.